up, wake up, wake up. It's the Flow Show, no filter. Back on Hump Day. Happy Hump Day to the breakfast crew. Everybody's in the building. Who we got? We got Melissa in the building. Alicia, C Tuck, what's up? My guy, Melody, Courtney, and everybody else coming on, falling on in. Well, before I get to the madness, let me cover my ass. No Diddy. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared at the Flow Show No Filter are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good. Good morning, y'all. Wake the hell up. Melissa say the fro is flowing. Yeah, the fro is flowing. I'm letting it do what it do. We got a lot to talk about, Diddy. We got some breaking news, and some people are concerned, but I'm gonna break it down and cut through the madness for you. Some crazy breaking news. The government has dropped a couple of Diddy's charges. A late motion filed last night. We got to talk about it because a lot of people who don't understand what the hell is going on, they worry. But I'm explaining to you why it's nothing to worry about. It's actually a good thing. And it's actually they're addressing something that we all have been concerned about. We're going to catch up on the case and all of that. No, I can't. I ain't doing that. C Tuck, no intro music, bro. It's just all me. Yeah. But hey, it was actually a smart move for them to drop those charges because they addressed something that everybody has been worried about. We're gonna talk about that. No faith in the government. I don't blame you, but I'm gonna explain to you. It's actually smart, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. But hey, y'all, I dropped the merch store. Hey, y'all, I worked on the merch store the last 2 days. I got all the new shirts plus the other shirts, the relaunch. Please visit the And I Don't Like It, my Shopify store. I've been working on it all night, getting up new designs, making sure everything is right. And I need y'all to go in there and shop and check it out and test it. And test it. So and let me know if it's anything not working or if it's anything that I got wrong on there. So when you get a chance, I dropped the link in the chat. And I don't like it.com. The merch store is back. And I'm looking forward to it. Okay, yes, Desi. Desi said she was already looking at the merch store. I appreciate you. Y'all worked on that all night. Y'all know from last time I had to do all the orders myself because the company did not live up to my standards. And I told y'all when I got everybody order out myself, and I said going forward, I'm doing everything. I don't care if it means I'm doing more work. I'm doing everything, and I love it now, but it was a lot of work. So check out the store. Check out the new designs. I got the cat pissing on cotton. I got the kick rocks. I got the We Love Flow. I got the I Love Flow. I got the And I Don't Like It. Everything is on there. Everything is on there. What's up, Overthought? Say they caught the lie. Sure. But without further ado, please check out the merch store. Like I said, And I Don't Like It. I put it in the chat. All proceeds go to a good cause. Y'all know I leave tomorrow morning. Especially with the prosecution dropping these charges, I'm glad I leave tomorrow morning at like 5 or 6 a.m. I'll be in New York at about 7 a.m. I'll be at the courthouse at about 8 o'clock. I'll be there before court start. I got to see what the hell going on live and in person. So all proceeds from the merch store are going to go towards my expensive ass New York trip. And also, of course, the VIP subscribers, Flow on the Go. $23 membership. Get that and that will support it. But let's get back into this, y'all. Let's get this back going. Prosecutors have dropped some charges. A lot of people are worried. But I'm gonna tell you why not to worry, and why, given the climate of what's going on, the prosecution seen the same thing that we saw. The prosecution saw that Diddy has so many damn charges and so much going on, it could be a little confusing. Could be a lot confusing. As you can see from the general public, people don't even know what the hell these charges mean. People are confused. So what they did, in a sense, is trim the fat. Think about it. The general public is not a totally accurate assessment of the jury, but it's pretty damn good. And what do we see all in the comments? People don't even know what sex trafficking is. People don't even know what forced labor is. People don't understand bribery. And so what the prosecution did, I'm gonna get into the details, but what they did was eliminate the charges that they didn't need so the jury and the judge can focus on the forced labor, focus on the sex trafficking, and give instructions specifically on what those charges mean. I am happy about that because y'all see I've been losing my voice trying to explain to people what these charges mean according to the letter of the law. So if Diddy had like 8 predicated felonies, it's hard to explain all of those. And if y'all know, I told you, if you go to the R. Kelly case, the main 2 charges that got him his RICO 30 years in New York court was, what did I tell y'all? Forced labor and bribery. That's all they needed. The sex exploitation was extra. They didn't even need that. The RICO came from, in the R. Kelly case, which is a perfect example or a perfect comparison, the RICO came from the two RICO acts, which were forced labor and bribery. Now let's talk about forced labor. In R. Kelly's case, listen to me. In R. Kelly's case, they got him on forced labor simply because he threatened his victims he threatened them that he would put out those freaky sex tapes anytime they got out of line or didn't want to comply. That's it. That was forced labor. That right there was forced labor. This is straight from the court. This is straight from articles. This is facts. This is not my opinion. You know, I'll let you know if I'm giving opinions. This is a fact. The forced labor element that was half of the RICO charge of R. Kelly was simply because he used those tapes that he had, those freaky tapes with those victims. He used it as leverage to keep them in compliance. Same exact thing that Diddy has done with Cassie, with victim number, 50 Cent people. I ain't gonna say her name. We know they're all the victims. And so for somebody like me who's been looking in the comments and realizing so many people don't understand and it's so simple, I feel like the prosecution did the right thing, because now the sex trafficking will be explained. The forced labor will be explained. And I'm going to get into the details right now. But I'm telling y'all, they are seeing the same thing I was seeing. People I don't understand why when it come to Diddy with R. Kelly, they understood it. But when it comes to Diddy, all of a sudden people don't understand the simple facts of the matter and what the law means. You only need 2 acts. Forced labor is an automatic. It's proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Diddy has text messages where he said, "I'm gonna put out a tape if you don't pay me." So forced labor is literally automatic. So the prosecution wants to, for sure, make sure the jury is focusing on forced labor, and the prosecution has filed a motion and making sure that the judge explains in detail what forced labor is according to the letter of the law. And with that being said, I'm gonna get into the details of these drop charges. But trust me, y'all, I think it was a great move. I think it was a great move because you know which charges are gonna get them that you have proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And you don't want the defense able to be in their closing arguments focusing on charges that may be weak and you don't need them anyway. And so, given the circumstances, given how confused people are, that is what happened. I definitely think it was the best move. So the prosecutors have dropped attempted kidnapping, arson, and aiding and abetting sex trafficking. What they're doing is narrowing the focus to sex trafficking and forced labor and pushing the judge for clear instructions. Worried that the jurors might not grasp how serious and complex these charges really are. This is a strategy where they're tightening the scope to get the conviction. So let's get into the motion. Let's read the motion. The motion is filed to the judge. Dear Judge Subramanian, the government respectfully writes regarding its requested edits to the court's proposed jury instructions. The government understands the court's desire for streamlined instructions. With that in mind, the government has suggested ways to streamline those instructions. Specifically, the government has removed instructions from the charge relating to attempted kidnapping under both California and New York law, attempted arson under California law, and aiding and abetting sex trafficking. The government is no longer planning to proceed on those theories of liability, so instructions are no longer necessary. The government has also attempted to simplify the language relating to count 1, a proposed, as explained in the government's comment bubbles, that the government hopes not only serves the purposes of streamlining the instructions, but also will avoid any confusion as to the operative agreement for count 1. So it says, first one, sex trafficking and forced labor instructions. While the government has taken seriously the court's desire for brevity, the government still strongly believes that certain limited additional instructions on sex trafficking and forced labor instructions, which are regularly given in sex trafficking and forced labor trials in this circuit, are necessary for the jury to adequately understand the law on these charges. Each of these instructions reflect established case law and are directly relevant to key issues in the case. Moreover, without such instruction, the government has serious concerns that the jury may misunderstand the applicable law for both charges, which are extremely complex legal concepts about which jurors may have preconceived, mistaken notions. The defense repeatedly cites United States versus Dove for the proposition that the government additional instructions on sex trafficking are unbalanced and should be rejected. But Dove says nothing about instructions on well-established propositions of law, which is the only type of instruction that the government is asking to add here. Instead, the instructions in Dove are an entirely different nature, and one of the instructions in Dove involve a hypothetical given to the jury about a criminal defendant, which assumes the defendant's guilt. Good morning, punk girl. What people are, the biggest confusion behind this case, y'all, is because you hear 30 years, you're hearing all of these crimes and all of this, and they're thinking that it's a million things have to be proven. And that's just not the case. You only need two. Whether it's bribery, which is clearly, see, people understand. I've said this on the podcast. If y'all remember, I said people understand bribery. People understand bribery. They understand if you pay something to keep somebody hushed up, to keep somebody quiet. They understand that. We have bribery clearly in this case. What people don't quite understand is sex trafficking. People don't all the way understand forced labor. But when you understand forced labor and sex trafficking and what it means by the definition of the law, not the knuckleheads in the chat, not me, not YouTubers, not podcasters, not CNN, not none of them motherfuckers. What sex trafficking and bribery and forced labor and these other acts, what they mean by the letter of the law. And if you understand the letter of the law, it has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt in this case. And what the prosecution understands is it is much more valuable to get laser-like focus on the obvious charges than to try to have a million charges and risk spreading yourself thin. Another thing I spoke on this podcast is that Diddy has some way more charges in this case and way more acts that pertain to RICO, way more than R. Kelly did. And I think the prosecution understood that. R. Kelly didn't have 1,000. In R. Kelly case, they focused on bribery, forced labor, sex trafficking, and a couple other, obstruction of justice. Stuff that we all can understand. Now, the forced labor and the sex trafficking, people don't know what forced labor is. People in the comment section think forced labor is putting a gun in somebody's head and making them work, when that's just not the case. Yeah, I think this is going to be a quick verdict. And I'm telling you, one thing we have to understand is, do never forget that the feds have a 92% conviction rate. We can never forget that. We're not talking about some state officials or some knucklehead Barney Fife motherfuckers. We are talking about the feds. I think people also are forgetting that history matters. Statistics matter. They don't have a 92% conviction rate because they just moving around willy-nilly. They could have got a conviction even without doing this. But when you're a 92%er, you want to make it undeniable. And they saw the same thing we saw. They said it's some people that don't quite understand forced labor. It's some people that don't quite understand sex trafficking. Because if you understand sex trafficking has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt in this case, backwards and forwards, every single day, twice on Sundays. by the letter of the law, not with the knuckleheads and the comment warriors in the comments saying who just eating their Doritos and playing video games and hopping in the chat. Not what they think sex trafficking is. Not what Flo thinks sex trafficking is, but what sex trafficking is by the letter of the law. And it don't matter if it was consensual 1,000 times. Let's compare it to rape. You can have consensual sex 1,000 times, but on that 1,001 time, if the person says no, it's still great. It don't matter how many times it was consensual. And so these are the type of instructions broken down in the layman terms that the prosecution wants the judge to lay out to the jury, so there's no question, no nothing. See, because what the defense is doing is throwing a lot of muddy in the water and saying this is consensual, but there are times when the person said, I don't, when the victims in this case said, I don't want to do this. And they were forced and coerced into doing it anyway. And so, although it looks better to have 1,000 charges in play, when you got four, maybe even four or five solid ones, you got to go ahead and eliminate the other three. Because like I said, people, they understand bribery. The average Joe Schmo, even these knuckleheads with the brain of a goldfish that troll in the comments, even they understand bribery. They understand obstruction of justice. But when they look at sex trafficking, they think ain't nothing wrong with being a freak. That ain't what this case about. This case ain't about nobody saying that you can't be a freak. All you're telling me is you don't understand what sex trafficking is. So, as far as the prosecution, I think they did the right thing. And the reason why you know that I'm keeping it real is I've been taking time out of every show trying to explain to these knuckleheads what sex trafficking is, what coercion is, what forced labor is. Y'all know I've been doing that the whole time because I've noticed a lot of people don't know what it is, but the few people who are open-minded and actually trying to understand the charges instead of being biased, and no matter what you say, they just stuck on stupid. The people who are open-minded, when you explain to them the charges and you show them according to the law what it is, 9 times out of 10 they say, "Oh, you're right. Well, that is coercion, or that is sex trafficking, or that is forced labor," and that's what the prosecution wanted to make clear by dropping some of those charges. Don't let people who don't know what the hell they talking about scare you and think they know better than the fucking feds. A lot of these people that are trying to tell you what it means and give you their take on it, they ain't never got a 92% on shit. They ain't never got a 92% on a spelling test in school. You really got to do some thinking and dig a little deep. When somebody got a 92% conviction rate, do a little research before you just jump out and act like they don't know what the hell they do. They do this job every day. When we go home, they still, after Diddy, before Diddy, they still doing these cases. This is their job. So Don't automatically assume they don't know what they're doing just because they do something that you don't understand at first. Because when you get into the details and you look at prior cases like the R. Kelly case, it becomes clear. And you look at what's going on in the comment section and you look at the average everyday American who you seeing are not understanding some of the charges that are black and white. Sometimes you got to sharpen up your tool. And the difference between a 92 percenter, a person who strives at excellence, like me, I'm kicking everybody's ass when it comes to the podcast world. Because guess what? I'm not afraid to stop. It's like chopping wood. You got one guy chopping wood. You got two people chopping wood. You got the one guy chopping wood where he keeps banging his axe at the wood because he just thinking as long as he keep chopping, he gonna win. But then you got the other guy who would be me taking his time chopping some wood, and he's not scared to stop for a second and sharpen his fucking tool, sharpen that axe, and get to chopping some more. Stop, sharpen that axe, and get to chopping some more, and you will win every time. But the people who don't excel, who aren't elite, they're not confident enough to stop and sharpen their tool. See, you don't get 92% because you're worried about what Joe Blows and Schmoes and Junebug and everybody's saying. Perfect example, like my merch store. They were buying my merch like crazy. I didn't like the way the company who was handling it, I didn't like the way they handled it. I shut it down. I sharpened my tool. I came back today with better merch, a better process, in control. I don't give a damn what nobody thinks. I don't give a damn if somebody say, man, why you shut the store down? Because I'm sharpening my tool. What the prosecution just did, the feds, who have a 92% completion rate, what they did was sharpen their motherfucking tool. And people who don't excel, people who don't do things at an elite level, I demand excellence. It's a reason why I'm kicking ass on social media. It's a reason my podcast is kicking ass, because I demand excellence. I have to be the best I can be. I don't care what nobody say. So if I got to stop for a second and sharpen my tool, and I got to hear people in the peanut gallery telling me I don't know this and I don't know that, let them talk. Let them talk, because they don't know what 90%, 90, 92%, 95%, they don't know what it means to be in the top 5% of anything. They don't understand what it takes. I do. So I know it when I see it. The prosecution did what needed to be done. We've been on this show. How many times we've been on this show? Hey, thank you for the $9.99 super set. Good morning, Flowing Crew. I'm back. Miss you. Yeah, we missed you too, Steph. But these look, the trolls in the comment, they can't even build their own platform. They don't know nothing about excellence. They have to mooch off other people's platform and get in the comments and thinking they're doing something in the comments. They don't know nothing about sharpening their tool. They ain't never stopped and sharpen their tool, because if they did, they'd be on their own platform, giving their own opinions and giving their own advice instead of mooching off other people's channels and being in the comment thinking you're doing something. All you're doing is helping me. Nobody gives a damn what you say. This the Flow Show, no filter. This ain't the Troll Show. So we thank you for the engagement. We thank you for helping pushing the content, but nobody gives a rat's ass what you say. We here for me. We here for the Flow community. That's who we here for. You just in here like a gnat, bubbly bibbing around, meaning nothing. Only thing you doing is helping push our content out. You ain't never sharpened your tool. You try to ride off of somebody else's hard work and think that does something when in actuality, it don't do shit. Trolls ain't doing nothing but making our content go out and giving us unlimited engagement. Nobody came to this show wondering what the hell a troll thinks. Nobody. So you can type in all caps letters. You can insult people. You can misspell words. And y'all be misspelling like 4-letter words. You can do all of that. But at the end of the day, you the dumbass, because don't nobody give a damn about you. This the Flow Show, and this the Flow community. This where we gather. We looking at you and laughing. You are the joke, not part of the joke. You are the joke. Who doesn't know they're the joke? So without further ado, I just had to address the confusion behind prosecution dropping these charges and let you know, if you know I've been on here screaming and trying to explain sex trafficking, coercion, and forced labor to these assholes, if I'm having to scream it and explain it every freaking day, thank God that we got a prosecution that understood the same thing. Because like I said, what did I say? These jurors ain't sequestered. They going home. So these same comment creeps, little mohawk ditties, I'm sure they talking to them about the case when they go home, even though you're not supposed to. But let's be honest. Let's be honest. They definitely have to. And so I just had to come in there and address that. Because guess what? If I was panicking or I thought the prosecution was doing something stupid, you know, I'd come in here, open the kitchen, and cook their ass. I don't give a damn about prosecution, defense, Diddy, Junebug. I don't give a damn. Whatever I feel in my heart is what the hell I'm going to tell y'all. If I thought the prosecution was making a huge mistake, I would come in here and cook their ass just like anybody else. Crock potted, pan seared, deep fried, air fryer, microwave, souffle, all of that. I even bring out the Foreman grill. So don't think for a second I'm coming in here just trying to stand up for the prosecution. Because if you fucking up, I am going to say it. And I don't care who don't like it. Y'all know they can kick rocks with flip-flops with no socks. And I got that shirt on the merch store. So let's get into the trial, y'all. Intro over. That was damn near a 32-minute intro. I'm just getting started. I'm just warming up. Hey, look, you are now rocking with the motherfucking best. If you ain't here trolling, it's 300 million other accounts you could be on. But you right here rocking with the motherfucking best, and I appreciate it. Let's get started. So you can't talk shit to me. You're in here. You in here. You in here just like the rest of us. You love it here. You love it here. So let's get into what the hell going on. Yesterday we talked about a lot of things. Oh yeah, she said Flo is on fire. Oh yeah, this hump day, baby. And you know, in the mornings I shoot out like a freaking bottle rocket. I shoot out like a damn bottle rocket. This gonna be the quickest, swiftest verdict we done seen. I told you the only thing I'm worried about is the fact that these jurors weren't sequestered. I'm not worried about what the prosecution doing. Thank you, Tracy, for the $9.99. Exterminate. She said the exterminator. Yes, yes, yes. $9.99. I'm about to be eating good. I'm about to be eating so good. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Did I miss another super chat? Oh, so 64 San Jose says, thank you I appreciate your knowledge. You have taught me so much in these past 28 days. This prosecution worked hard. We all know Diddy is guilty. Exactly. See, when they eliminated them charges, they said we got him on the sex trafficking, the forced labor, everything that surrounded the sex trafficking, we got him on. We don't want the defense trying to focus in on this arson and blowing up cars and all of that. That don't even really have nothing to do with the sex trafficking or the bribery or the forced labor. So let's just eliminate that. Let's just eliminate that. We don't need that. We need these jurors to know exactly what these charges that we got them with his hand in the cookie jar. We need them to know what these are to be explained, because the prosecution knows the same thing I know. If you explain to these jurors in great detail and explain it to them in a way they can understand it, there's no way they can say it's not been sex trafficking. There's no way they can say it hasn't been forced labor. There's no way they can say that I don't see bribery, and there's no way they can see obstruction of justice. Hell, they even seen extortion through Cassie with Diddy made Cassie's parents pay him $20,000 or he was going to put that tape out. Focus on those, because one thing about them, all those charges kind of relate to each other. See, you talking about a whole nother person when you want them to understand that he blew up a car, that he kidnapped it. See, that's a whole nother violent type of criminal. They said, let's eliminate those violent charges and let's focus on the sex trafficking and everything that revolves around the sex trafficking. And let's make sure these jurors know exactly what the instructions and what the letter of the law is, because once they know for sure what the letter of the law is, there's no way they can say not guilty on all those sex trafficking charges. Like I said, coming from somebody, he's on fire. Hell yeah. C-Tuck, that used to be my favorite game. But yeah. So you got to understand, I am happy because I've been the one over here trying to explain to these assholes every day. So I am actually happy that the prosecution noticed and saw the same things I was seeing. Like, it's not just that. Remember, I was saying, if you recall my podcast, I was saying, you know, you had some assholes, but there was a lot of people who just were saying he wasn't guilty of these things because they just didn't understand the charges. Remember, I said that. I said that on this podcast quite a few times where I was like, okay, let's eliminate the assholes, the Bennies of the world. Benny wouldn't know Rico if it was a snake. Benny would have been bit a long time ago. He wouldn't know Rico if it slapped him in the face. So we're not talking about the Bennies of the world. They don't know shit. We're talking about the open-minded people who still may have thought he was innocent because they didn't quite understand what coercion is, according to the letter of the law. They didn't quite understand what sex trafficking is, according to the letter of the law. They didn't quite understand what forced labor was, according to the letter of the law. And so when you can explain it to them, they say, damn, now that you put it that way, he is cooked. He is guilty. He is a fucked up person. So you got to understand, as a person who's been trying to explain this a million different ways, I'm happy the prosecution did this, because the main thing is not only did they add a laser-like focus on the charges that need to be he needs to be convicted on, but they also added in the fact that they want specific instructions on forced labor and sex trafficking. I think that's awesome, because if you know exactly what those things mean, there's no way on God's green earth. If I'm lying, I'm flying, and I don't have wings. There's no way on God's green earth a sane person can say not guilty if you understand the law. And that's what the prosecution understood. Don't get it twisted by listening to people who don't know what the hell they talking about. And I ain't excluding nobody. If you don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to get on this bitch and explain what the hell is going on. Like I said, excluding nobody. I take this shit serious. I don't like people who don't know what the hell they talking about. I wish I could turn their mic off from my computer right while they talking. I wish I could just hack into their shit and just turn their mic right off. So we don't need you to add confusion. But anyway, let's get into this. Yahoo News. Sean Diddy Combs trial updates, defense rests without calling any witnesses. The defense in the Sean Combs trial rested their case without calling not a soul. They didn't have one soul to step up and say, hey, man, I know Diddy. I know brother Sean Combs. He wouldn't do these things. They didn't have one person to say that. But they read some things, items for the record. Another thing, Diddy and the judge had a little interaction. They hadn't had interaction, I think, since the beginning of the case. Diddy tried to love bomb the damn judge. I said, Diddy, don't stop. He talked to that judge for 5 seconds, and he threw some little love bombing in there. Somebody doing a great job and this and that. That judge said, yeah. That judge ignored that and just got straight to the point. Are you testifying or not? But I said one thing about Diddy, he gonna try. You get him 5 seconds, he got a love bomb in his back pocket ready to go for him to try to get his way. He done told the judge he feeling great and he think the judge doing a great job. He trying to pat the judge on the back. The judge like, man, I'm trying to send your ass to jail. The judge like, man, I'm trying to cook your ass. I ain't trying to hear you tell me I'm doing a great job. I bet you I'm doing a great job when I hold your fate in the palm of my hands. The fuck? Diddy something else. One thing about it, he ain't got no shame. Diddy stood right up in front of that judge and said, I'm about to have this job, I want this judge to be trauma bonded. Talking about you doing an excellent job. As if, what you gonna say? He doing a terrible job? I swear Diddy think he the smart. Any room Diddy in, he think he the smartest one in that room. Guarantee that. That's why I told you I couldn't be a judge. My mouth too smart. Because if he said, hey, Judge Flo, you doing an excellent job, I would say, Mr. Combs, would you tell me I was doing a terrible job at this time when you're looking at 30 years, sir? They'd be like, damn, this judge, we got to disrobe this judge. He too much. I can't help it, y'all. That's why it's the Flow Show, no filter. Because if I'm thinking it, I gotta say it. People around to tell you that all the time. I'll be like, "Ooh, when I can't say something, that shit eat at me," and then it eventually end up coming out. So I would have been like, "So what? Would you tell me I'm doing a terrible job if I was, Diddy? Why you coming up here trying to tell me I'm doing a great job? Just stick to answering the questions, Mr. Mohawk man." Look at Benny. Look at Benny. Benny is just so in love with me. Benny, hey, look, I ain't never seen. The funny thing is, if your ass, like I told you before, if your ass get up at 7:30 a.m. to hop in my chat, you in love with me. I don't care what you to troll me. I don't care what you say in the chat. Your ass up at 7:30 a.m. You ain't brushed your teeth yet, and you in here worried about what Flo doing. That's why I'm good. That's why I tell you I'm not a professional. I'm just good. I make trolls wake their ass up at 7:30. Benny probably ain't never been up at 7 a.m. in his life. But he gonna get up for the Flow Show every fucking morning. Don't miss a show. And I always do excellent numbers when Benny in here, riling up the chat and pushing my content out. So Benny, I hope you don't never leave. I hope you always in here in love with Flow. And get you a t-shirt if you can afford one. Let's get into this. So the defense, what they spoke about, they brought up Cassie's text messages in order to show that this was just a girlfriend who was in love. not a sex worker. Some of those texts was bottom line. She said, "I love you. You are important to me, and I know I will never have a love like this in this lifetime." Ventura wrote this in 2012. Now, I believe in 2012 she was 19 or probably like 19 years old, give or take. She also says, "Besides making love, talking to you is my favorite thing." In another message, Ventura told Combs, "I miss you." Combs responded, "So what you going to do?" Ventura replied, "Be your little freak." And if you got a second, Benny, go ahead and drop in the comments. Go ahead. I just dropped in the comments the my link to the my merch store. I got the "And I Don't Like It" t-shirts, the "And I Don't Like It" hoodies, the all my famous sayings, cat pissing on cotton is so quiet, all of that, kick rocks, all in the merch store. Go get you a t-shirt today or a hoodie or a coffee mug, whatever. Just check me out. So she said, "Be your little freak." Defense attorney Tenny Garagos read notes from law enforcement meetings with several witnesses, including Daniel Phillip, an expert. Phillip testified that after a sexual encounter at Ventura's home, Combs threw a bottle towards her and grabbed her by her hair and dragged her by her hair into the bedroom after she did not immediately get up from the computer to go into the bedroom as Combs had instructed. Phillip said Combs emerged from the bedroom a while later and asked him, "Are you guys ready to continue?" Garagos also read law enforcement notes from a meeting with Phillip that the defense contends indicate Combs said something else. In approximately 2013, Phillip saw Ventura get physically assaulted. Combs eventually came back out and said, "Yo, man, I'm going to have to deal with this. You need to get the fuck out." And so on and so forth. Then we got to the part where Diddy said he is not going to testify. Sean Combs told Judge that he declined to testify on his own behalf. He said, "That is my decision with my lawyers," Combs said. The jury wasn't present when the judge spoke directly to Combs. The judge asked Combs, "How are you feeling today?" And Combs stood there and said, "I'm doing great. How are you, Your Honor?" Combs responded, "I want to tell you thank you and that you're doing an excellent job." Judge gave him a dry thank you and continued to say, "Do you understand that as a criminal defendant, you have the right to testify if you wish to testify?" Judge Diddy said, "Yes, Your Honor." And then the judge said, "You've made the decision freely on your own behalf." Combs said, "That is totally my decision." And there we have that. So Diddy confirmed that he was not going to testify. They got that out the way. So you got the bribery charges. Let's talk about the charges that are in place. Racketeering as well. Combs engaged in attempted in sex trafficking, forced labor, bribery, and narcotic offenses, and obstruction, according to the indictment. For bribery, prosecutors relied on testimony of Eddie Garcia. You remember him? That's a security guard from the Intercontinental Hotel. Eddie testified that the Combs paid him $100,000 cash for the closed circuit surveillance system and footage of Combs allegedly beating the hell out of Cassie. We all saw that. Now, the reason why they eliminated the arson is because all of the evidence was pretty much circumstantial and based on witness testimony. There was nothing concrete or as concrete as the sex trafficking to tie Diddy to it. So they eliminated that. And then also the defense filed and moved for an immediate acquittal, which you know that's not going to be granted. But as soon as the government rested its case after calling 34 witnesses over nearly 7 weeks, the defense asked the judge to immediately find Sean Combs not guilty of all charges. The defense moves for a judgment on acquittal on all counts, which y'all know that didn't go. They talked about how the assistants cleaned up the freak-offs and set up the freak-offs, which plays into the sex trafficking and the illegal commercial acts. Now, another thing that we didn't get to, I wanted to talk about yesterday that we didn't get to talk about is Diddy's defense. Hey, Tracy, get him, Tracy. Tracy White, y'all cooking in the comments. So apparently the kitchen is open in the chat. Thank God. But one thing we didn't get to talk about yesterday, you know how the defense has been saying that all Diddy did was pay for legitimate services? I didn't get to bring up a text thread that was presented as evidence in this case that shows that Diddy knew that this shit was illegal, and even the escort service people told him. There was an exchange where Diddy was mad about the service he was provided by one of the male sex workers, in which he told the company, and I quote, he couldn't even perform. Basically saying that the sex worker couldn't fuck. Guess he couldn't get his man up. Well, first of all, before I get into that, I'm sure the male sex worker had a little problem performing when you got some creepy pervert in the corner yelling out instructions with hijabs on and masks and bandanas, pleasuring himself as he's standing over you barking out instructions. I think that's probably a little hard to perform under those conditions. I don't know if I could do it with a pervert like Mohawk Diddy breathing over my fucking neck while I'm trying to do the do. Anyway, when Diddy said that he couldn't even perform, the escort service replied saying, I'm confused. Our agency only provides time and companionship. You're paying for the gentleman's time, not a 20. Well, I'm adding this part in, not a 24-hour gangbang like this is Cornhub or Spank Bang or whatever the rest of these sites are named. And to which Diddy responded, he's lucky he got that. Meaning he lucky he paid him whatever he paid him, but it's all good. Goodbye. Now, this is a damaging text thread because this is clearly the escort service telling you we don't provide sex. We provide companionship and time. What are you talking about, Diddy? AKA the dealer. And so this plays into the sex trafficking. This is even the escort service is telling Diddy, we don't provide that. I don't know what you're talking about. Diddy mad because the guy couldn't. Get out of here. Listen, leave. You don't have to announce yourself. This is not American Airlines. You can just leave. We don't have to announce. We're announcing the departure of Clementine Lede, somebody who I didn't give a shit if you came or not, never noticed you. Just leave. That's the beauty about this thing. You don't have to announce it. You just get the hell out of here. And we won't miss you. I won't miss you. Just don't let the door hit you with a good Lord splits you, like my granny used to say. If you talking about the profanity, your ass ain't had no business being in here anyway. It's the Flow Show, no filter, dumbass. See, I ain't in the mood today. I'm having fun trolling back because I'm feeling good today. The Diddy trial is almost over. I'm letting my hair down, letting the fro out. Clemmy, take your ass on. I told you it was the Flow Show, no filter when you seen the fucking name of it. So if you mad because you want me to put a filter on, that's your fault. You can't read, dummy. Now, let me continue. Because one thing I am is always clear. This is why I say the flow show, no filter. That way, when people like Clementine or whatever your name is say shit like this, then it's your fault. That's a Clementine problem, not my problem. I told you it was no filter at the fucking very beginning of this show. So if you talking about profanity, then you don't know what the hell no filter mean, and you need to get the hell kick mini rocks with no socks with flip flops now. So without further ado, anybody else, you don't have to make no announcement. This ain't Delta Airlines. This ain't Spirit. This ain't the terminal. Nobody gives a damn if you come or go. Now let's continue. Because I'm straightforward about what this show is about. I don't lie. I don't manipulate. I don't try to be something I'm not. That is why it's called the Flow Show, no filter. So because when you come in here, ain't no telling what you're gonna hear. So you better have some grown ears, or your ass gonna get cooked just like Diddy. You think if I cook Diddy, you know I cook somebody in the chat for fun. You up here giving an announcement. I don't even know who the hell you are. Why you announcing? I don't even know you in here. Wasting your time. Announcing somebody who don't give a damn. The fact that you got to announce it let you know we don't give a damn. Bye. The hell on. So today, the jury is not in today. The jury had the day off. Tomorrow, they will have closing arguments that will be presented by the prosecution and the defense. Now, it's a chance that they're going to deliberate Friday, but the prosecution was saying that they don't feel like that they will be able to start deliberation until Monday. But we won't know that for sure. The judge will let us know that on Thursday, but I will be there. Oh, yeah, Cindy. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Cindy. This. Hey, look, the trolls is nothing but free content. You dealing with one of the most witty of them all. I could go 1v1000 and I cook all 1000 and won't have a scratch on me. My brain works very fast. I just don't troll people. I just don't bully people. I told y'all I'm a counter puncher. I ain't gonna never bother nobody, but you come at me, your ass will fuck around, be sitting on somebody's leather couch, laid back talking to a psychiatrist, wondering why you ever tried Flow. Because Flow don't try you. My responses come quick as hell. So I love the trolls. They give me free content. The trolls is one of the biggest reasons why I became so big. Because people love to watch me cook them. Benny Hanna style. I cook them in front of all of y'all. I might even spin the egg and throw it in the air and crack it on my spatula. So anybody else want to announce what they're doing, come on in this chat, make an announcement so I can fry your ass just like whoever the hell that was that just made an announcement. And they said, go, Flo. Give me that free content. Cooking motherfuckers is what I do best. I just like to educate and stick to the facts. But I could cook people for 4-5 hours straight without breaking a sweat. Try me. April, somebody said, April, put the pipe down. This is a fun show. I know, listen, I'm so much of a person that really likes to stick to the facts and educate and really give value. I know everybody like me. When I cook, everybody love when I cook. I can turn this microphone and cook motherfuckers from the first minute to the hour and 20 minutes that we be on here, and everybody will have a ball. But that ain't what I'm here for. I'm here to give facts, give my opinions, and explain what's going on. And the cooking just comes when it comes. And thank you to every troll and to anybody else that has anything to say. I thank you because you give me free content because cooking is what I'm great at. You can never ever out talk me, ever out chat me, ever out comment me. Nobody could do that. I'm sorry, y'all. That's not happening. I'm good at it. Come on if you want. Come on. I got the crock pot ready to go. See, every now, most of the time I'm nice, but today I had to let people know, I could get with you if I want to get with you. I prefer to be nice. I prefer to smile. I prefer to joke and laugh. But every now and then I gotta bite you to let you know, I'm a certified pit bull. And shout out to my one follower or listener. She says she listens to the show every day, and she says her pit bull loves me. And I said I love pit bulls, especially when they're on the leash. But I know, in all seriousness, I love pit bulls. So shout out to the pit bull. And next time you send me a message, y'all gotta tell me what these dogs. I love dogs. My son got a dog we named Juice, a little Boston Terrier. Shauna got a dog named Champ. I can't remember what kind of dog it is at this moment, but it's a little bitty dog. Tell me the names of y'all pets. I love animals. I love pets. I know how much y'all love y'all pets. We love our pets like humans. So when you're telling me about your pet, make sure you tell me the name because I want to know. I like to know their names. I might even shout them out on the show. So shout out to that pit bull that I don't know your name, but you got a wonderful owner who listened to this show and said that you love my show because I am a pit bull, my damn self. And one thing about it, them trolls and people who you want, that last troll I just cooked, you probably will never see her or him or whatever it was. You will probably never see them again because they don't want me to. Okay, look at this. You got a pit bull named Ava. Hold on, somebody said they got a pit bull named Ava. Oh no, I have a bully. My bad. A bully Pinsky named Ava. Shout out to Ava. Tell Ava I know Ava got a hell of a stance. Those bullies. I wish I could stand like those bullies. Melody says she has a cat named Ammo. I like that name. A cat named Danger and a dog named Ghost. Oh, y'all be having some fun in that house. Y'all be having some fun in that house. But anybody want to say something, the kitchen is open on Wednesday. So come on in here so I can cook your ass in front of the world, just like Benny Hanna. Come sit at the table and I will gladly cook you. And I might even blow up your face. I might blow up your channel, blow up your profile pic and put it back in this screen and dedicate about 10 minutes to your ass. Come on with it. And then you'll see how for real the flow show, what I mean when I say no filter. Now, your best bet is just to leave me the hell alone and go to the rest of them corny ass channels that's scared to say stuff because that's a little bit more comfortable and that's more your speed. And here, we quite grown in here. We quite grown in here. Twice baked. Y'all know them twice baked potatoes where you got to cook them and then you got to turn around and cook them again? You get twice baked on the flow show, no filter. Shauna texted me during the show. Talking about good morning. Come on in the chat and say good morning. Hey, look, I like what Steph said. Steph said, you mess with Flo, you mess with all of us. We a community. We dedicated to each other. See, we ain't like a lot of these communities. I know every last one of my people who support me. I support them. And we support each other. So when you come in here, you already lost. This family in here. We could talk about anything. We don't care. People be trying to make themselves important by announcing. Nah, you can't make yourself important, baby. You got to earn being important to me. You can't pop up in my chat and make some old bold, I am leaving because you ain't earned nothing with me. You ain't earned no. Your word don't mean nothing to me. You just a random stranger popping in the chat. talking shit. We in here every day, loving on each other, supporting each other, and encouraging each other. Who the hell worried about somebody coming in here giving a big bold ass statement that fell flat? That troll came in here talking about my swearing. I dropped about 20 more swear words. What is you saying? Goodbye. I felt like cooking today. And damn it if they didn't bring the groceries. Them trolls always bring the groceries. I felt like cooking today. See, a lot of people don't know that. I said today, I told y'all, because tomorrow, I'm making an announcement now. Tomorrow probably won't be no structured show because I'm going to be flying tomorrow. And it's no Diddy court today. So, probably no show tomorrow, but I'll try to, I'm still going to pop in though. I just don't know what time because I'm going to be flying. So I said today, I'm leaving on a bang. Definitely will have a show Friday though. But tomorrow I'll be traveling, but I will pop on and for the VIP people, I will be reporting live from New York. But I said today, the first person that come in here talking shit, I'm gonna Friday ass to a golden crisp. And that one person didn't know that this wasn't the day. If it was any day not to announce that you leaving and try to tell me what to do with my platform, today was not the day. I already had it on my mind. I need to cook somebody today and let them know I don't play around. It ain't just Diddy. Don't think I just cooked Diddy. A cat named Moonshine. Y'all got some names. See, that's why I want to know the names, because the name adds, like, it gives me a certain closeness to that pet. Because names is from the heart. I love Moonshine. I know y'all be like, come here, Moonshine. All of the animals. We love all our animals. And I'm going to get some animal stuff. Y'all, I did all those designs on the merch store yesterday. And I just got tired. I ain't go to sleep till about 2 in the morning. Working on the merch store. But I will be adding some pets. Somebody asked me for like a bandana for their dog, I believe. I'm gonna definitely add some pet merch in the next couple weeks. No, this ain't in the background. I'm at an Airbnb. Somebody said it's a new background. No, I'm at an Airbnb. This is an Airbnb background. My Bengal cat is named Tyson. Do your Bengal cat be kicking ass? Do your Bengal cat be kicking ass like Tyson? All right, she said she need a t-shirt. Yep, I'm going to get in the next couple weeks, I will be adding the pet merch because we love our pets, and it seems like so many of my community, so many of the Flow community has pets. So I definitely will get the pet merch going. I'm excited about that, y'all. But in all seriousness, every now and then you gotta let people know you don't fuck around. And so, fortunately, we had somebody that tried to make an announcement and tried to make themselves important, and I had to let them know this my show. This the Flow show. This ain't the whatever that person name was. Go get your own damn show. This my show. This my blood, sweat, and tears. If I want to call people a funky ass, I don't even want to say it. If I want to swear, if I want to scratch my behind on the show, that's my business. I work my ass off for this show. You think I'm gonna tell anybody what to do or what I should do or how I should do it? You got me all the way effed up. And I say that with all due respect. I say that with the humblest demeanor, and I got my hat in my hand. I'm so humble, but I don't give a damn because you didn't break it. You didn't build it. You can't break it. You didn't make it. You can't take it. You ain't been in this on here in this live with us every day talking. You don't get to come in here. You don't get to come in here for 5 seconds and give some old big opinion and think it's gonna hold weight. Not in here. everybody in here, including me, including Melody, including Steph, including Sybil, including Tracy, including Melissa, including April, including even Benny. Benny got more right to say something than these people popping in for 5 seconds, ain't been on the show ever before, but you want to come in here and make a bold statement. I will listen to Benny before I listen to your ass. And I'm gonna leave on that note. Let's get the Amos in the chat. Please, please, please go to the merch store. I worked so hard on it. I was up all night, making sure I added those quotes that many of y'all asked. I did some designs. I did the fro design with the bandana. Please check it out. If you can afford to buy something, cool. If you can't, I totally understand it. Money is hard to come by these days, but if you can buy something, we got coffee mugs, we got all kind of stuff. But it also will help me if there's any glitches or anything wrong or anything. Y'all can DM me and say, hey, this was spelled wrong, or there's not a medium size available for this. All of that will help me in this soft relaunching this week. I'm gonna put the link in the chat one more time. Let's get the Amos in the chat, and thank y'all for giving me so many great ideas on quotes, on what to put in the merch store, and keep them coming. You know, like y'all the reason I even have a podcast. Y'all the reason why I'm a top 5% podcast on Apple and Spotify. Y'all, I never in my wildest dreams ever thought I would be a podcaster. And being a podcaster has been one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life. And I owe that to y'all for telling me that I would be a good podcaster when I didn't even think about being no damn podcaster. I didn't think, I'm not really a talker. I mean, y'all, obviously I talk on here, but for me to think I would be talking for an hour and a half a day, I didn't think I could do that. But y'all something in me that y'all saw something in me that I ain't even see in my damn self. And so I'm forever grateful. And I'll be listening to y'all. Y'all haven't led me wrong yet. When I ask y'all for suggestions or y'all tell me I should do this or I should do that, y'all be spot on. So I appreciate y'all for that. And I will never forget it, for real, y'all. So Lily says I'm out. Have a safe flight, Flo. Yes, love to all of y'all. I'm looking forward to flying up out of here first thing in the morning, crack of dawn. Like I said, so the show won't be the regular time. But even for the people that's not VIP Diddy people that will get the exclusive content, I will pop in and say something because I like to touch y'all every day if I can. So just won't be at the normal time. I'm gonna have to get off. You know, New York. You know, I kind of move in my own pace. I'm in my own world. Them New Yorkers be about to run my ass over. I'm talking about the walking crowd. So when I get in New York, when I get off that plane, I gotta be focused. Cause they be like, get the hell out of the way, basically. Cause I'm from Cleveland. I ain't used to all that New York shit with all that crazy hustle and bustle. I don't mind it, but I had to get focused when I get off that plane. I gotta get into New York mode. So I won't be able to pop in until I get settled and all of that. But thank y'all. She said safe travels. Says love Flo. And like I said, the kitchen is open. Daphne's been fired. This has been a great episode. I like when I get this chance to cook in front of y'all and put them collard greens and them wings on, cause it's what I like to do. Shout out to C Tuck, my boy. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Hey Boo. She said, we face pace. Yeah, y'all fast pacing the East Coast. I had to get right with it when I get off the plane. Flo, hit that super sticker. Oh, you got a super sticker? Did I miss a super sticker? Tell me if I missed a super sticker before I get out of here. I've been doing all that cooking. I forgot to check my plate. Did I miss a super sticker, Tracy? If I did, let me know before I get out of here. You know, I always like to shout out my super stickers. Twice baked potatoes. Ooh, I'm hungry. I noticed nobody else wanted to announce that they was leaving the show. I guess they got the point. from old tired ass, whoever that was, woke up on the wrong side of the bed and coming in here talking shit to me. Is you crazy? Even Dickie came back in. Dickie said he back stronger. Like I would listen to Dickie before I listen to somebody stopping in my show for 5 minutes and ain't built up no cachet with me. Oh wow, Daphne. No wonder you said. I'm glad somebody said. Oh Lord, Daphne hit me with a 49.99 super sticker. Tracy, thank you for telling me to check the super stickers. I'm about to pass out. What are? Oh man, I'm gonna have. You know how many tacos I can buy with that? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Daphne. Oh, I'm about to be cooking. Y'all love when I cook. I'm gonna be cooking some more. Friday, I'm coming in here hot. I feel sorry for the first person that tried me on Friday after that 49.99 super sticker from Daphne. Daphne, you just made my day. And thank you for Tracy. One thing about Tracy, she don't miss nothing. She always guide me in the comments or the DMs or the whatever. Yeah, everybody thank Daphne. Daphne, this show is dedicated to Daphne. You came through. I'm about to eat good in New York. You know I love pizza. You know how many slices of pizza I could buy with that? $50. That could get me about I can get me about 20 slices. So shout out to Daphne for really making my day, and I appreciate the super sticker, and thank you for Tracy letting me know to go check and stop running my mouth. Tracy said, quit running your mouth and go check your damn super sticker. You got $50 over there, bro. And always, I got to send a special shout out to my boy C Tuck too. C Tuck always hold me down. He from Cleveland just like me, and it's just a special thing when you both from Cleveland and you understand what we went through. I am from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm from the middle of Ohio, and I have worked my way up to the top of this media thing. From a small town, Cleveland, Ohio, I became top dog. Y'all don't know what that means. So let me get the hell out of here. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for everybody for supporting the show. Um, like I said, we're gonna do it, baby. Cleveland, Ohio. Much love to all of y'all. Like I said, C Tuck. Let's get C Tuck his flowers. This my dog, man. Flo, C Tuck say, Flo, you my dog for life. Always 100. Much love. I love y'all. But I'm out. Okay, I see you, Sydney. Say she from Ohio as well. Thank you. Daphne says she love y'all, and we love you too, Daphne, for coming through. That meant a lot. Melissa says I'm out. And on that note, let's get the hell out of here. I love y'all, but I'm out.